Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So in the previous episode, I talked about GDPR, right? So today I want to talk about another privacy act. That's CCPA, California Consumer Privacy Act. So if you're someone, right, who uh, who deals with collecting personal information about a user who are based in California, then you need to worry about CCPA because this is to do with citizens of California. California is a part of United States, right? If you never heard about it before, so I presume you would. So these are a part of a privacy law associated with the United States, specifically if you're dealing with a citizen from California. Now you must be wondering, why should I care as a part of an AI certification, right? That's because, yes, I get it, right? This is an AI associate certification, but it's good to know the privacy law associated with it because, obviously, like I said, right, you might be using your AI model to train to get a certain output. You wanted to train your AI model to drive certain expectation, right? Now, the thing with that is, you might be using customer personal information, and if that customer personal information is used to train a model, and if that customer belongs to California, you need to uh, keep CCPA into consideration. So CCPA is pretty much like GDPR law, right? It's about like GDPR was about European Union customer. So the similarly CCPA is about California customer. So you have to keep this law into consideration. If you are a business who makes let me see, something around over 25 million or more, collects the personal information of 50,000 individual, earns more than half of the annual revenue from selling personal information. It does not mean that you have to be physically present in California. Even if you're not, you still have to comply with the policy, right? Now, what does this law state, right? These are the few points I wanted to go through. So now this law, California residents, few rights, right? So the right to know what categories of personal information business are collecting about them. Obviously, if you're a business, right, and you must be collecting, I'm not saying you must be, you may be collecting personal information about a customer who are residing in California. So so that uh, the person, right, who resides in California has every right to know the categories of the personal information and collecting about them. The right to know whether business are selling or sharing the personal information. I mean, I'll be even worried, right, if someone collects my information and they're going to use it or sell it. Like New Zealand does not have that law. I mean, though we have some privacy law, but we don't have specific like GDPR or CCPA. Though I wish we had something similar in ANZ. Um, so which will be very good because people are collecting the information and selling it. It's not really great. Like if you remember the case happened with Facebook, they sold the personal information to Cambridge Analytics, right? So that is an example of how business can misuse personal information. Facebook's denied it, but that's a different thing because businesses can deny it, right? I mean, how hard is to lie, right? I haven't done that. So that's kind of stuff is not really great. If you have a law in place, then businesses are forced to comply to that. Otherwise, they will be penalized in terms of fines or other stuff, right? The right to prohibit business from selling the information. That's right. So I have every right to tell a business that, hey, I don't want my personal information to be used for any reason, so please stop it. So, yeah, the right to access the personal information, I can pretty much request a business to say, hey, show me the information about me you guys hold. I wanted to see what information you hold about me, my personal information. So the personal information could be your name, your phone number, your email address, residential address, your orientation, sexual orientation, religious affiliation. If some people do collect that information, or affiliation with any club, country club, uh, motorcycle club or whatever, right? Just give you an example. And the right to request that business delete the personal information. I mean, like, I as a consumer, I as a user should have every right to tell the business, hey, I don't want you guys to be retaining information about me, so please delete it. So they should be able to do that. If they're not, then they're violating the CCPA Act, provided I'm a resident of California, right? If that makes sense. The right to equal service and pricing when exercising rights under CCPA. This is another law, part of the law you have to consider. So I'm not going to get into the extreme nitty gritty detail of it. From an exam point of view, all you need to know, this is a law which exists, and what the implication of this law. What does this law talks about? I talked about it in a second. Six laws. It talks about it. You should remember that, and that's also useful from an implementation perspective. If you are someone collecting customer data, or if you're a business running, like I run companies, right? Now I run three companies, which is fantastic. So we do deal with customer from California. So CCPA law, we strictly follow that, as well as if we do interact with the customers from European Union. So GDPR is we strictly follow that. So as a business, it's a compliance thing for us, right? So that's why I'm saying, if you're a business collecting the data uh, from a consumer based in California, you need to consider CCPA law, right? It should be a part of a compliance process. So yeah, that's pretty much I wanted to talk about in today's episode. Hope you guys have an amazing Monday. Adios.